Hey, Kevin Andre Wilson's in the house.
Hey, William, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you, man. How you feeling?
I feel wonderful.
All right. How was your
Yourself?
day? How was your day?
It's- Most of my days, just about every day, I can honestly say is a good day.
That's a good thing, man. It's a good thing. So you ready to rock and roll?
Of course, of course. And you?
Yeah. That's why I'm here. So we're gonna talk about what? About the crypto, the Bipto, what we gonna talk about?
Well, you had touched on something when we spoke previously uh, about financial literacy.
Okay.
And basically, I'm at a point now where I see a lot of people work very, very hard, William. A lot harder than me personally would ever want to work. But yet, because of the way the United States and most exchange situations for time, money, and all of that is set up, these aren't the people that are going to succeed financially. It's going to be the investors. It's going to be the business owners. It's going to be a certain class of people. But yet, intrinsically, each one of us has a talent. And if we develop, if we pursue, will take care of us for the rest of our lives. But we're misled to get a job and to get two jobs and to get three jobs. And then some poor smuck over here is at the right place at the right time, buys Bitcoin for $400, and 3 years later, he's a millionaire. And we have a lot of those smucks now that are coming into money, and the inequality is only going to grow. And there's no reason for that. So that's really where my heart is, and it's addressing that.
Okay.
Because,
So is that what you? So now, how does that tie into financial literacy?
okay, basically, I'm not a financial advisor, but we're coming into a new form of money, which is cryptocurrency. But cryptocurrency, and I've been taking notes, is basically a network, and it comes to connect people. And some of these projects are going to take off, but they're built on community. And our social organizations are built on families. Everything basically that grows and prospers follows a natural progression. So networking, network marketing. People are told over and over again, network marketing doesn't work, but networking formulates everything. If you go to a new town, you want to make a decision about a restaurant, you want to make a decision about a dry cleaners, you're going to call somebody. You see, they're not getting paid. Pushing things on people that don't want it doesn't work. But sharing naturally works. Being of service to another human being works. And it's the only thing that works. Dr. Dolittle wasn't a hit. A lot of money was poured into Dr. Dolittle. Robert Downey Jr. Cats wasn't a hit. A lot of money was poured into Cats. But the networking, the word on the street, ooh, there's going to be a John Wick 4. It's only supposed to be a one-shot deal. But the word on the street, people love John Wick. Love comes from John Wick. And they love John Wick too. And because of networking. So networking works. How's that relate to financial literacy?
Go
Who are
ahead.
you listening to?
I'm
Who are
listening.
you listening to?
Right.
You're going to listen to the people that are going to tell you Bitcoin's going to collapse. And it will. It's going to collapse over and over again. And it's going to rise. And every time it rises, it's going to be higher than the last collapse. And they know this. And the same people who are preaching about the collapse are buying it.
Okay, but here's the deal. One, are you saying that financial literacy means you should be aware of Bitcoin?
You should be aware of income and assets and taxes, because they all are going to be a factor in building wealth. Wealth is built. It's how old is your money, not how much money do you have. This big old thing in China with the real estate development is going to collapse now. What happened here in 2008. But if we as average Joes own our own business, we're getting back to how America was built. The young people today, like you yourself, sir,
Yeah.
you do videos, right?
Yes.
Do you know if I took your discipline, I kept telling you how much I love you for your discipline.
Right.
And I have people that I pay every month I don't listen to because you can take me out of my comfort zone. And I'm very comfortable. I told you I'm comfortable. And my coaches keep telling me to make a video. I pay the people that I don't listen to because I'm comfortable. I commend you for making videos. It would increase my income 5 to 200 times, depending on how consistent I was making videos. The evidence of that doesn't lie, but I'm comfortable. But the young people who are making these videos, there are young people today becoming millionaires. Like I say, everybody has a talent, and they file different tax schedules. If they're making millions, it's no excuse now for each and every individual not to take that time to develop something deep within them, to take care of themselves, because we were built on free enterprise. The young people are too much in debt to afford to work at Wendy's. I'm sorry. They have too much college debt to afford to go to work for $15 an hour. Don't call them lazy, call them enterprising, because that's what they have to be. And they're forming these social networks, TikTok and all things. I think TikTok might have come from China, but I'm just giving that not as a detailed specific, but as a general example of what can happen with innovation. But Facebook was what? Zuckerberg was a college student when he came up with that. Michael Dell Computers. His father came to Stanford. Why aren't you studying? Because I want to build computers. His father wanted to be a doctor. But you see, so doing what you love, your passion, not going after money, but understanding that money takes a lot of different forms, gold, silver, currencies, and becoming very, very aware of where the future direction is. The future direction, all of our payment systems are going from ACH clearinghouses to digital. Who's doing it? Follow that trend and just follow the money. Small investments today will pay off big time in the future.
That's the most important key. Follow the money. Now, let me ask you a question now. So the currency we have now is not really money, it's just digits. Is that correct?
Well, it's fiat. They keep printing it. And now 20% of all the money ever printed in this country was printed in the last 2 years.
Really?
20%.
Wow.
So, and you're in New Jersey, I'm here in California. William, I was asking a friend of mine, $1 million. When I was coming up, $1 million, you were doing nice, you were fine. And I told her, I said, okay, walk up three houses from your house, walk down 3 houses from your house, look at these houses, and how far is $1 million going to take you? And she lives in an average neighborhood here in California, and she got my point. Each one of those houses right now, the asking price would be $800,000 to $1 million.
Yes.
When those houses were purchased originally, they weren't even 100,000.
Okay, so what has happened to make a shift? How is it? I mean, obviously it's inflation, but what's the end game?
The end game is to buy low and sell high. More corporations now own housing than individuals. There are more vacant houses than homeless people. The name of the corporation is to earn money. You'll never hear a CEO say, we got to protect workers' rights, workers' health care, workers' wages. We got to protect shareholder equity. One of the keys to financial literacy is to pay attention to what the CEOs are saying and become a shareholder. I might lose my money. Go to the gas station, gas is $4 a gallon. Go back and it's $4.50 a gallon. You just lost your money because your purchasing power went down.
Right.
And people don't equate it like that. And when we go there and hamburger, regular ground beef is $10 a pound, William, a lot of people won't be able to afford that.
Right. So this is the thing. It seems to be like diminishing returns. It's going to be, it keeps like, here's a question. How do you cook a frog?
You put it in lukewarm water and raise the temperature.
Yeah, that's how you do it. So now here we are, man. The temperature's been raised up. We're paying more for less. How long can this go on? There has to be a limit.
Curtailing of debt. It's okay to be broke sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like the rap song say, you don't have to floss. Don't go out and buy $100,000 house before you buy a car. I mean, don't buy a $100,000 car before you buy a house. And a lot of people, especially in Southern California, you can't tell how much money a person has by their car. That car represents a receipt. It's how much money a person might have had. But there's a lot of broke people with Bentleys and a lot of millionaires driving Toyotas. And as a person gets older, they see that. And just a little bit of money. I have a chart I go by. If you start with $50 and you double it 16 times, you have $1.6 million. If you start with $500 and you double it 11 times, you have $1,024,000.
What type of schedule is that? How does one do that?
What I do is I look for things. Everything has a purpose in crypto. Every coin. So I like finances. So when I first got into this, I looked at what facilitates payments. So I found XRP. I didn't really know a lot, but I found VET, that's supply side. I found certain things and was like, okay. And so I started putting little bits of money in that. Little bits of money, relatively speaking. I put $119 in ADA, it was 6 cents. In May, that $119 was $3,000.
Wow, it's good return. Yeah. Okay.
But I have other stuff that I've seen go totally south. But whenever I invest, I look at it like, okay, I'll probably never see any of this money again. And the soonest I'll see it is 2 to 3 years because I've come from the stock school. But crypto is a lot faster. But see, there's a lot of people, relatively speaking, in this sector. And what happens when a lot of people suddenly come into large amounts of money and large amounts of people don't? 2% of the whole world is in crypto.
Oh, really? 2%. Okay.
We're where crypto is, where the internet was in 1996. Remember they used to laugh at?
So let me ask you, how do governments allow crypto to exist?
They don't want to. Crypto is here to free us, William. Crypto is here, so if you want $1,000 from me, I can send it from my wallet to your wallet without anybody seeing it. They don't want that.
No, right, because that way there'd be no taxes.
So they want to downplay it, denigrate it. But the guy who invented Bitcoin, I didn't know this until I became an investor, because then I started paying attention, of course. It was to free us. And they started talking about drugs and illicit stuff. But the last time I checked it, the dollar was the #1 currency in the world behind all of that. Behind all of that, arms sales, unless it's drugs. I mean, Oliver North was selling arms, US government arms for cocaine. But the government tends to misplay that or downplay that because he acted alone. As a lieutenant colonel, I find that really amazing. But crypto is a danger. It's only a danger to the powerful, the people with money, because the way it's structured, there's going to be networks set up. And there already are networks set up. But it's what network you're going to belong to. Who are you going to hang out with? And how healthy are you going to be?
So in other words, let's say I have $1,000. I want to invest in crypto. Now I would buy a small, I take 1,000 here and divide it up to different cryptocurrencies. Is that what I would do?
That's what I would recommend. But the first thing I would ever do, and also I recommend people to do, is this: you have to know one thing about yourself. What is your risk tolerance?
Yes.
If you put $1,000 in the market today and you wake up tomorrow and it's $100, are you going to have a hissy fit? Because if so, this isn't for you.
Right.
Because that's happened to me. And they said, well, I'm down like all this. Let me buy half of my position. Because now half of my position is only $67. I have 900 and something dollars in here. It's 133. If I put $67 more in, it's half of what I've already paid this for. So then it went up. But I learned that because I've lost so much money and turned around and watched it skyrocket.
Wow.
When you're new, you're going to lose because you're going to panic. After you walk down that aisle a few times, you know, oh, that's when you buy. You buy when it's red, you sell when it's green. And crypto is really fast. But the great thing about it is, let's say you don't want to sell. There are projects, William, that are guaranteed, as much as anything can be guaranteed, to go up because it's the future. You'll see Apple Pay, you'll see Samsung Pay, you'll see all of these payment systems, platforms, but you never see what's behind them. It's all digital currency.
Yeah.
It's all digital platforms.
Right.
So the cryptos that are operating these systems are like Cody, it's like ADA, it's like different things that when you go behind the scene, you can invest in the underlying asset pool of what's is these functions, because everything does something. You're investing not so much in a cryptocurrency, but in a function, when we talk about a purpose. Every crypto has a purpose, and some is to scam you. So if it's just a meme or a feel-good deal, chances are it has no long-term utility. But if it's going to track supplies, if it's going to bridge payment systems, if it's going to help me see you, if it's going to bring movies online, then it has a future.
So you say, look for the purpose behind the crypto.
Right. And that helps you. And some of these things, there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin ever.
Yeah. Now how's that? I mean, they only mine or mint so many.
Right.
So how does that work? I mean, what?
Scarcity. Everything has a different amount. Like Ripple has a whole bunch of that. But scarcity. And it's some stuff. William, one thing I'm invested in is only 91 million of them in the world.
Okay.
And it's only $343,000 market cap. So I saw it go from a dime to a penny. That's the one that I told you about was down before and it went up. So I had this ride with it before. So now it's down a little bit. But it wasn't really due until August of this year when I started investing in it, September of last year.
Okay.
But something like that, there's only 91 million and they're a penny, which means a million of them is about $10,000, but 100,000 of them is $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But 10,000 of them then is only $100. If that sucker goes to a penny, for every million of something you own, that's $10,000. A very small market cap is 343,000. It's a digital exchange. If all the stuff works out at that small amount of 91 million, a $300 million market cap puts that over $3. And that's a very small market cap. So that's my bet. I'm betting that this is going to go to a $300 million market cap if it functions. And right now it's at 343,000.
Wow. Okay. So now,
see, that's my bet.
Now, what drives the function?
It's an aggregate exchange. So it's going to allow you to exchange different tokens for cheaper fees and an accelerated rate, because it'll be a meeting place, but it's tech and they're still developing it. And sometimes tech dies on the development floor. It doesn't mean that the tech wasn't good. It means somebody found a cheaper and faster way, faster than you did.
Okay.
Beat you to market. And if that happens and we don't need you, when you finally get your stuff together, it's always a risk, William.
Oh yeah, that's what I call it, investing.
But if it does work, And you don't need it to go all the way up there to pull your money out. A rule of thumb, you're up 4 times. I've been penalized every time I didn't follow this rule. Anytime your investment is up 4 times, sell half your position.
Right.
I know you're going to think it's going to keep going up. You don't want to miss out on future profits. Sell half, you've doubled your money.
That's right. At least you got,
half your,
at least you got something. You made something, right?
you've doubled it, and you have half your position still for free.
Right.
And the key is if you double $500, 11 times, you have $1 million. So if you keep doubling it, you can't lose. But you'll get, and I've been here many a time, and it's bitten me every time. Oh, it's going to keep going up. Oh, I want to squeeze out a little bit more profit. And oh, kaboom! Somebody that had a lot more decided, hey, I'm taking my profits now. And when a whale sails, markets shift and prices drop.
Oh, yeah, that's true. When a whale sails, the price is going to shift. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I'm worried about selling a few thousand, and somebody sells 500 million.
Right.
But when we learn this, and we learn to be investors, whether it's this, and we learn that we need insurance. I'm not a licensed insurance agent, but we need insurance. It aggravates me every time I see a person of my race, or any race, but particularly my race, having a car wash to pay for a burial or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because for $50 a month, $70 a month, you can be paying off debts right now. I know what it's like to be broke. I went broke, William. 5 years ago, I was broke, and I started this for $35 a week. I gave it Starbucks.
Wow.
I said, I can't go to Starbucks. So I started this for $35 a week, and now I can do whatever I want to. I don't even go to Starbucks anymore. I lost the taste for it.
So now, how does one get on the journey? I mean, where would one start? Because it's a big topic. You know, we can't start. You know, we have to start a smaller step and maybe move up.
First, you got to look at your heart. Because if you have family, if you have people you love, you have wealth. Not everybody's cut out for this. If you honestly, if putting 500, 1,000, 10,000 as you grow into something that you could wake up the very next day and most of it is gone and that's going to be a problem for you, this isn't for you. But there's other vehicles that would be for you, like a network marketing company. And that's going to be based on what product or service they deliver, not how much money they're promising you. Because you want to share what you're using. You can't share what you want to make money off of, because it's going to come across as inauthentic. But if you come to my house, you'll see the products I sell. That's how I can sell them. I use them.
Right.
You're not going to come to my house and see some other type of hand sanitizer in my house. Yeah, my hand sanitizer is more than what's in the store. But you're not going to come to my house and see what's off brand, because then how I'm going to sell it to you. Oh, I went to his house and he had that hand sanitizer from so-and-so, and here he's telling you it's $20 a bottle. Like, you come to my house, I have my hand sanitizer here.
Okay.
You know, so, but there's other people, but see, I use it and I believe in it because of the properties it does. And so, but there's other people, they'll get in their company and they won't use their own products. And so they're just trying to make money. Now they become a hustler, they become a fraud, basically. And some are very good at it. But it's a long-term plan. And as Jim Rohn said, it's who you become on the journey. You asked me about the journey. And I'm not looking for money, I'm looking for friends. I don't have any friends, really.
You know, that's so important, because, you know, it's inauthentic to me to meet someone and say, hey, you know, we're Facebook friends, you know, be Facebook friends, you click the button, and then you never talk to them after that. What is all that about? That I don't get.
Einstein, back in his time, saw a world where people were more connected to devices than each other. Suicides are up, depression's up, loneliness, not only from the pandemic, but we've lost the ability to really connect with one another on a human level in a lot of capacities. People are in the same room texting each other. I've been guilty of that.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I know that's the only way I can talk to them.
Well, no. See, like, okay, to me, doing the interview, right? First of all,
Uh-huh.
like I like doing voice messages as opposed to written messages. I like that because you can hear who I am through my voice. That's important. Then I like doing interviews because then we have a chance to hang out. Normally that would not be the case. You just be pushing the button. Yeah, okay, we're Facebook friends, and I'm gonna send you over some stuff. But like you say, that's not that doesn't make sense to me. Whether or not you take what I have is irrelevant. But what's important is our relationship.
That's the key point. That's where the trust factor comes in.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I don't mind if a person doesn't need anything I have to offer because it's not for everybody. Crypto, nothing's for everybody. That's why everything I do, basically, just because of who I am, I find it easier to advertise. I know I have people say, don't buy, you don't have to buy everything. To me, it's easier just because of my personality, my disposition. I'd rather talk to people who have expressed an interest in what I'm doing than to go out and try to generate an interest in what I'm doing.
Well, but how do you meet the people who have interest in what you're about? How do you meet them?
Well, most of the time I do it through advertising, but when I'm out and about, I like to talk to people.
Yes.
And so I'm very fortunate that I'm not afraid to talk to strangers. I know there's strangers who wish I was.
No. I'm with you, man, because like that's old school, New school is don't talk to anybody.
Right.
And it's so foreign to me, like, hey, I'm here. You're here. Let's get acquainted.
But they have the devices. If you go to the mall now and you're doing network marketing and you're trying to walk the mall and talk to people, a lot of people, younger people, are very uncomfortable.
Extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah. So that doesn't work. So basically, to continue, it's not about the money. The only way I'm going to be able to continue is to get better and advance with new technology options, which is going to force me to grow. And that's really what excites me. It's not the potential money, because it's like what Mark Allen says, after you've had a couple of $100,000 checks, $100,000 doesn't excite you anymore. And once you've had this, you've had that, you've lost this, you've lost that, it loses its appeal. But what never loses its appeal is a smile, a hello, a sincere thank you.
Yes.
That never loses its appeal.
And then considering where we are today, that's so rare that it's valuable.
A lot of people are hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are chasing money. They have the Wall Street handed down illusions of the cars, the beautiful woman, the handsome man, the problems that are solved in 30 minutes to an hour, and the perfect lifestyle. And one of my earliest memories is a guy named Freddie Prinze. Do you call him Freddie Prinze?
Oh, yeah.
The #1 TV show, Cheek on Demand.
Yeah.
I was a teenager. And with a teenager's mind, he was dating Raquel Welch.
Oh, wow. He was?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm a teenager. And this man is dating Raquel Welch. And at the time, she was everything, up there on the screen. And he was headlining in Vegas. #1 TV show in the world. And he blew his brains out.
Oh, yeah.
And at an early age, that taught me a lesson. Envy is worthless.
Okay.
He had everything, as a young boy, everything I could ever imagine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was dating Raquel Welch. You
Yeah, I hear
see,
you. Right.
I was an honor student.
Okay.
I had a lot of stuff going for me, but I knew I couldn't play baseball anymore. It doesn't sound right, but as a little kid, that was my whole concern. People didn't like me. People beat me up because I was smart. They accepted me because I could play sports.
Right.
Now I couldn't play sports, and I knew it, and I tried to fake it, but I was hurt. I was hurt, and I wasn't going to go pro. You can have those fantasies, but every skill level you go up.
Oh, every level's oh, you got a whole new ball game, man.
Yeah.
I mean, could you meet guys? You meet guys that are on your level and above.
Yeah. And everybody in the major leagues was a star.
Yep.
That last guy on the bench has been a star all their life.
Right. But now he's not playing because they got guys that are more stars than he is.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like getting back to the financial literacy.
Yes.
Today, there's a movement about financial literacy, teaching people, students in high school in particular, how to balance a checkbook, that kind of stuff. Which in the old days, that was home economics, that everyone learned that. Home economics is not being taught so much anymore, not that way. They teach cooking.
When you were in school, did they have a thing called junior achievement?
Yeah.
See, when I was in school, they did too. You got to go and they showed you how to run a business. You had to come up with your own product.
Yep.
You had to come up with your own materials.
Yep.
And for the process of start to finish, they walked you through it. I don't think they have junior achievement anymore. But
No.
that's what taught me.
Yeah. Well, okay. So now here's my question. Look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sure you're aware of the fact that the players, the big people, the controllers, they're 40 years ahead. Right. So now, if they're 40 years ahead, when did they decide to take out junior achievement? If they're 40 years ahead, when did they decide to take out music out of the high schools?
And words out the textbook.
Yeah. You know, so like people complain about the teachers in the school. It's not the teachers, it's the system that produced these people a certain way. But somebody had to make a decision to change the system.
Well, it was over 20 years ago. I know because I was starting to talk about it when they started to get things politically correct and starting to actually remove words, literally removing vocabulary words from the process of teaching. And then they don't want to teach kids cursive. And slowly but surely you erode the educational process, and everything is a memorization process. And you're just repeating back what you're told, and you don't even have the capacity to think for yourself anymore.
Well, no, it's deeper than that. The students are being taught to pass a test. You know, it's short-term memory. It's not about, in other words, I was working in the Newark public school system, and they would always say, we teach critical thinking. I said, okay, where do you teach that? There's not one class in critical thinking. They say they prepare people for global competition. There's not one class in the whole district in Chinese, you know? So like, you know, I mean, what? So now I'm just saying as a nation, like, you know, like, remember back in the Opium Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we're now in the cocaine wars, where a foreign power is flooding our land with, you know, drugs. And the government, you know, winks an eye and it goes in, right? We're destroying ourselves. That's how I see it.
Well,
not everybody, but I'm just saying there's that wave happening in society.
The governments of the world aren't as opposed to one another as they want us to believe.
Oh, this is obvious.
Yeah.
Look,
so,
like you say, if you follow the money, that's the answer to your question.
There you go. There you go. And the world's population to these people, that's why we have the World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund. When you have the GA meetings and you have the Council of Foreign Relations meetings, when you have the Council of Foreign Relations meetings, Those are Republicans and Democrats. And you never hear any arguments because they're dividing stuff among themselves and they come to an agreement. When it comes time to giving the people something, it's Democrat versus Republicans. But the people are getting enslaved, either by a social program where they're going to receive government aid at the expense of their freedom because they either have to pay this back or it's going to be a lifetime thing. Because all of those are is loans. They're not really gifts. If you start working again, they have it to where you're going to start paying them back. And who can afford that? Or they don't give you enough time to adequately transition off. If you get a job today, you're off next month. Hold it. I might not get paid till next month. That's too scary. It's like the human psyche isn't built like that. So they keep us afraid. They keep us disenfranchised. Whereas behind the scenes, your Chinese, your Russians, your Koreans, North and South, Japanese, like we were talking about the UK and the United States and all these countries, they're not really looking at us as their citizens trying to protect us. They're looking at what can we get from you that's going to benefit us when we unite.
Okay, so this is a foregone conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
What's your recommendation for navigating the system?
Stay vigilant to where the money is. Don't fall into serious debt, more so now than ever. Find you an income vehicle. All levels of income can be purchased. Rich people purchase income. They say, how much interest is this going to bring me? How much is this going to give me a month? And then they put down a chunk. And if all you can put down is $100 and all it's going to bring you is 25 cents a month, that's a start. And you do that for 10 years and you're way ahead of the game than if you never started. But a lot of people don't have 25 cents a month coming in. They don't have to work for it.
So that's like the annuity program in insurance, right?
Right. And now there's stuff like that in crypto. One of my major things, I'm a big proponent of a thing called Axiom, not a financial investor. But I put 30% of all of my profits into that. And I saw the price of Axiom fall way down, but I don't really care because they pay me interest in Bitcoin every day that I can sell. Anytime I want, I can withdraw my interest in Bitcoin. So I don't really care what the price of Axiom is because I can't touch it for 15 years. I gave it to them.
Oh.
I staked it for 15.22 years.
Okay.
So until 2036, and I started in March, and now I have 19 stakes. Every time I pull some profit out of a program, I stake me some more Axiom.
Okay.
And that my percentage of Bitcoin goes up.
Right. But let's go back to the guy in the street, like the college student who comes out with, a mountain full of debt. Either the student has the debt or the parents have the debt, right? Unless you're a doctor, and even doctors are struggling as well. It's going to be, it's a very tall mountain to climb because if you're paying back your debt, if a doctor pays back the debt, how can you open a practice? How can you afford to live, get a home, and how can you afford to have a family?
None of those things now are they concerned with you having. Things are different. In 1976, William, I went to visit the college that I chose to go to, right? They're the only place that would let me play baseball.
Okay.
And the financial aid officer at this college told a 16 or 17-year-old kid, I don't know how old I was, maybe I've been 17 when I visited, you qualify for a National Direct Student Loan. But don't worry, nobody ever pays these back. That was his exact words. I'm 62, I still remember those exact words. And to this day, I haven't paid it back. And you know what? They didn't start coming after people until the 90s. I graduated in 81. But I guess a lot of people were told the same thing I was told. Because then they looked up and it was all this student loan debt, but it's not on my credit profile. It's nowhere to be found. And it doesn't really impact my day-to-day life. But for the young people today, it is on their credit report. It is on their credit profile. And I graduated from a school for 4 years, $3,400 in student loan debt. That same school today is $58,000 a year.
Okay, so what happened? Why is that?
Because it became a business. These loans became a business, and the students became opportunity.
Yes. And then what we do is we're going to hike the value of college education. And then that starts in the first grade, second grade, all the way up to high school. If you're not going to college, you're a no good, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And
The college has changed.
and we got these student loans for you. And we can show you the stats that college graduates make more money than people who don't go to college. Now, where you want to be, right? So this is what's going on. However, there is a trend today to denigrate college education. Have you seen that?
Well, you know, William, I don't think that we live in a black and white area so much anymore, if ever. There's a lot of gray there.
Yeah.
And I'm very much for education. But when you know, education begins in the home. I'm a philosophy and religion major. I'm proud of that. I love to read, and I still read. And I'm happy my life allows me to still read 4 hours a day. And that's really my passion. But they shouldn't denigrate college, but college just isn't what it used to be. College used to be a place that you were supposed to encourage free thinking, development of mental resources, not create employees.
Well, basically all it is now, it's like, you know how you go to a tech school after high school?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's become.
But a general tech, you don't even have a specific purpose. So you come out aimless and wandering.
Well, yeah, that's part of the purpose to keep, except if you're a computer major, if you're a science major or a medical major, you have a road. But if you're like me, I was a liberal arts, right?
Uh-huh. Me too.
So like, you know, I was Spanish was my thing. That's what I did. But if you don't know where you're going to go with that, you know, that's not good. And you come out now, they keep you in flux. You can't think, you know, and you have to buy this when you get out, go in further debt because you think by buying these things, you'll find out who you are. And it's very rare rarely does that happen.
But you know, if you get to a point in life, you get to learn that. And I really just think that the journey, I look at myself now, William, I couldn't have worked for me. I just think of a lot of the things I didn't know, a lot of things I wouldn't do today. So when I see a text message or an email, or I hear about something somebody said 10 years ago, hell, I drove a lot of people away. I've changed because of that. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. You want to hold something against me from 10 years ago, go ahead, but I'm not him. And I've already paid the cost of that. You know, more so than you probably know. But everybody, I don't care who we are, has made a mistake. Everybody. And people are going to make mistakes. And now when people make mistakes with me, you know what I remember, William?
What's that?
I made mistakes.
Yeah. If you don't,
it's like, okay.
If you don't make mistakes, how can you learn?
And that's what we're doing. So people are going to hurt you. They're going to. And it's not sometimes intentional. Sometimes they don't know any better.
Well, no, it's not them. It's me. I'm the one who's taking the information and making it what it is.
Giving it meaning. You give the meaning to the incident, right?
Yeah. You know, I mean, you could say whatever you could say, I don't like you. I could cringe. I could say, well, that's okay. I'm comfortable with myself. I don't need you to like me. You know what I'm saying? So what would be your overall message to the people listening to this?
Form you a network of people who are going to encourage you to develop your talents, because within your talents will come your resources. And within those resources, contribute some of those resources to your future and learning the money game, because it's a game. And invest in things that you have the intestinal fortitude to stay in when things aren't going well, because nothing in life that's worthwhile ever just goes well. That's all.
So what is it? What is the number one investment in your opinion?
Something that you're comfortable with?
No, what is the number one investment?
Knowledge.
Yourself.
And yeah, yourself. Yeah, self-development. Yeah. Yeah. When you put it like that, yeah, you can't, that's all we really have. Everything else is going to come and go.
Right. Okay, man, we've been at it for about an hour now.
Okay, we're good. I'm good.
You know, we could continue another time, but I think this is enough to start off with to get whet people's appetites. And how can people reach you, Kevin?
My email,
Yeah, what's that?
Kevin at totally1099.com.
Hold on for a second.
Mhm.
Here's my pen. Put that. Okay.
You know, I had notes and I didn't even address them. Oh, well.
Kevin at what now?
Totally, TOTALLY,
Yeah.
1099
1099
.com.
at who?
.com. Kevin
Oh,
at
.com. Okay.
totally1099.com. That's my
Oh,
email.
you're totally 1099, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, that's self-employment tax form.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's cool. I got you. I got you. So you
Man,
see,
W-2s just aren't cool to me. W-2s, W-4s, I don't like those.
I got you. I got you. I mean, like, who does really, right? Okay, so that's about it, Kevin. Thanks for coming on. We'll be in touch. And you know, when you're ready to go into the next level of that experience we talked about last time, let me know.
Okay.
We can do that. But until then, you know, let's stay in touch and be, you know, more than just Facebook friends.
Okay. Well, thank you, William.
My pleasure. All right, guys, that's about it all for the day. The meeting is ended and we're going home.